That was not a game that the Avs deserved to win, and they didn't. But somehow, at the same time, it still feels like they could have and should have won it. Avs lose to the Calgary Flames 5-4 in overtime. The biggest thing about this game was the Avs basically brought an entirely new breakout systems. A lot of support from the forwards, a lot of forwards working with the puck, and a lot of smaller, shorter passes. And that worked great at times, especially early in the game, but as the game dragged on, it kind of degraded consistently until the Avs puck management just completely fell apart. It's a fine line working those creative, unique breakouts and not getting too cute at the same time. With all that being said, it was working in the first period, and I do think the Avs were the better team, at least at 5-on-5 for a good portion of this game. And a very positive trend that we're seeing more of recently is the Avs getting out to an early lead, and they do that in this one as well, thanks to Ryan Graves. This play starts as a somewhat normal Avs breakout as Girard is going to go for the stretch pass, and it does work here. However, you'll notice two of the Avs' three forwards are very deep, supporting in their own zone, so it's a bit of an awkward neutral zone. As Compher collects the puck out up high, he doesn't really have any room to get into the zone by himself, so instead he opts to just hold position here and wait for the other forwards to catch up to the play, and it creates a nice little situation where he can find Donskoy on the move to get into the zone. It is a little chip play. Burakovsky is joining Donskoy to make it a 2-on-2, but Donskoy cuts to the middle, like he loves to do, all over the ice. This is his move, and Graves is going to jump up into the play. He reads that the man back is aggressively going for Burakovsky, so all he has to do is beat his man up the ice, and he'll be open. Donskoy also recognizes it, gets into a space where he can make the pass to an area, leading Graves well, and Graves just picks this one up as it skips over the defenseman's stick and buries it. A little bit lucky, but a very nice read from Ryan Graves as well to skate into the open ice and create an opportunity. It's eerily reminiscent of Nick Holden to me, especially on that back door like that. He is having a lot of success over the past couple of weeks with that play. And it shows when put in an NHL structure, a prospect like Graves who is intelligent and can make those reads can excel because he can know that his teammates will cover back as he jumps up into the play. The rest of the first was mostly even, relatively safe as well. Not too many dangerous chances for the Flames. I would say the Avs got the better of things. They got a power play late in the period that was awful. We'll get onto that in a little bit. And also near the end of the period, Burakovsky hit himself a post for bad post 37. So outside of the power play, a very solid period where the Avs are up 1-0 after 1 on home ice. Gotta feel good about it. And then we had the second period, which was, again, relatively even at 5-on-5. Did feel like the Avs' chances weren't quite as quality as they were in the first period, but still a good bit of back and forth, and at least for a while, Francouz was playing well. The Avs would take a penalty early in the period, but they managed to kill that one off, and the game goes on. And the Avs clearly got a bounce on their goal, so with an even game, eventually a bounce goes Calgary's way, and it's back to tied. The Flames enter the zone with good speed here and end up dropping the puck backwards, so that allows a lot of space to get the puck in deep and even go in behind around the net after a tough angle attempt doesn't really pan out. From there, you can see the Avs way overcommitted. All 5 players below the hash marks to only 3 Calgary players. But it's a good response here. McKinnon recognizes what's happening and actually quickly gets back out to the point. So it's not mistakes on mistakes here. And the shot does come away from McKinnon, but the space isn't really taken advantage of here. This is a pretty acceptable shot to give up, especially with this many bodies in front of the net. Sure, Francouz might not see it, but there's a very low probability of this shot going through. Really don't have a ton of complaints here. The only thing you could really say is you'd like Rantanen to tie up this stick. And he doesn't, and a perfect tip ends up coming in. Here's a more clear angle of the shot coming through. You can see it just gets by Landeskog's foot there, and coming in just right by Rantanen's foot as well, as Ryan just gets a tip on this one, redirecting it. Maybe not the greatest puck tracking from Francouz here. I know there's a lot of bodies, but he's given up a whole lot of the near side there. Again, these goals just happen sometimes, though. I mean, if that's what it takes to get a goal on you, you're not too worried about that. And as if to prove my point, the Avs immediately respond and regain the lead 31 seconds later. It's not a clean face-off win, but it is a face-off win. Credit Nieto for getting in there and doing the dirty work to help win this one and get it back up to the point. Graves is going to show off his second talent here. He has not used this one much with the Avs so far, but he does have a very big shot from the point, a heavy shot. He winds up, is able to create a big rebound here, and Val has gotten position, beaten his man to the net for that rebound. He just grabs it, goes to the far side, and puts it in easy. You use the tools you have at your disposal. Hard work from Nieto and Belmar in the face-off circle to gain possession. You get it back to Graves. He's not an all-star defenseman, but he is very solid in his role as an offensive producer on the bottom pair most of the time. He's able to use that big shot that he has as a weapon, and Val Nichushkin outworks the man on him to get position to be able to put the goal away. That's just hard-working, good old-fashioned, clean, quality hockey all the way around from the Avs. The Avs are back in control of this game after that, and a couple of minutes later, they get another chance on the power play as McKinnon draws a call. And the power play was terrible once again. It was very clear very quickly that the top unit really did miss Cale Makar. I thought the forwards were doing a pretty good job of creating space out up in the zone, and Sam Girard frankly just wasn't using it. Girard really had a tough night overall, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The point I want to make here is this is another opportunity where the Avs had a chance to put their foot on Calgary's throat, make it a 2-goal lead, and make this a very hard game for them. And they failed to do it. This could have been a decisive victory for the Avs. As I said, up through about that point, I thought they had been the better team at 5-on-5. You get one of those 2 power play goals, it's 3-1, and you're in complete control of the game through the latter half. Instead, Calgary's PK gains them momentum, and they start rolling hard the other way, which eventually gives them a second power play opportunity. And this is where things start to fall apart, as Calgary capitalizes where the Avs don't. This time it's the Avs losing the faceoff, and they lose it clean, allowing the Flames to immediately get set up in the zone, and you're going to see the Avs system do Avs system things. Belmar is going to quickly be aggressive on the puck carrier. That's pretty normal. Secondarily, Graves is going to fall back into standard position. That's pretty normal as well, but you're going to see the problem develop very quickly here. As Graves sticks with his man back to his normal, roughly position, you have Ian Cole in his normal position in the systems as well. The problem is, there are no Flames anywhere over here at all. So Cole and Graves are essentially guarding the same man, or Cole is guarding nothing here. And with Belmar being aggressive on the puck carrier, that means that there is no one covering anything on this half wall area of the ice. So as Calgary moves it over there, there's a ton of space, and we get into this classic scenario for the Avs defense where Ryan Graves is now caught in no man's land. He either needs to commit to the puck carrier or just trust his goalie and try and move the screen out of the goal. He opts to commit to the puck carrier and go for a blocked shot. Ian Cole continues to guard absolutely nothing playing his spot here. There's just no recognition of the back door. It has to be checked, and for some reason the Avs system doesn't acknowledge it. If there's no one on the back door, guess what? You gotta commit to this guy. You gotta try and move him and give your goaltender a clean look. They don't do any of that, and Francouz ends up getting beat because of the screen. Now, I get it. You have to give up something on the penalty kill, but a lot of this is pretty basic recognition. You want to limit space when you're down a man, and you also need to communicate and understand how to play off people. If there's a guy right in front of you, generally you should probably guard him. I'm no genius, but when you have your forwards playing extremely aggressively and your defensemen playing extremely passively, That leaves a whole lot of space in the middle of the ice for the other team to take advantage of. But this is a known problem. The bigger problem here, the issue that really probably cost the Avs this game, is that Calgary succeeded on special teams and the Avs did not. Penalty calls happen. The one that led to this goal was pretty soft, but they happen. Power play goals happen against you. Power play goals should happen for you. And that last one isn't happening for the Avs right now. Over the Avs' 6-game winning streak that they're coming off of, the Avs were 3 for 19 on the power play. That's okay. Not great, but considering all the talent they've gotten back, it should be better. You add in the 0 for 2 they were in this game that they lost, and they dropped over a full percentage point down to about 14% over their last 7 games. And sure, they didn't have Makar tonight, and other than a couple of games with Landeskog and Rantanen back at the end of the winning streak, they were doing it without them as well. But you look around the league, and that 14% over the last 7 games would put them bottom 5 in the NHL. And I know that's a small sample size, but you look at their overall on the season, and they're all the way down at 16th, right in the middle of the league. This team is too talented offensively to be an average power play. I don't know. It's still highly concerning that the power play somehow seems to make it harder for the Avs to score at times. But enough of that rant. This is a 2-2 hockey game after 2. You win the third period, you win this game. And then the wheels just immediately came off for the Avs to start the third. The Avs win a face-off clean to start the period all the way back into their own zone. Sam Girard goes to collect it. As he's collecting the puck, he has multiple options. He can go to Zadorov as the safety outlet over into the corner. He can try and make the risky play to McKinnon up the middle. He's going to get collapsed on by multiple players as this is happening, and he simply just seems to panic here and attempts to feed it off to Zadorov as the safety valve, and he just makes an atrocious pass. It might have been deflected. Either way, it's a terrible pass that gets up into the air and hits Zadorov pretty squarely in the middle of his body. Gets knocked down. That's a brutal pass for Zadorov to recover from. Don't want to fault Zadorov too much here, but in a perfect world, he could have felt this pressure coming or perhaps seen it coming and just thrown this puck off to safety. Anywhere out over here, you could even rim it back to Girard up the boards here. Instead, he tries to settle the puck, again, gets collapsed on by an aggressive Calgary forecheck, and that creates a turnover. And now the Avs are in big trouble as the only forward back was Burakovsky, and even he was skating backwards to fly the zone, leaving scary amounts of space in the middle of the ice. A nice little passing play back and forth, and a ripped shot from about the top of the circles beats Francouz clean. It's just bad, man. And Sam Girard struggled with the puck all night long. Again, not only is it incredibly frustrating, it's been a roller coaster for Girard this year. About a month ago, he was having these exact same issues, really struggling with puck management, really struggling with his puck decision making, and really struggling with his confidence. Then, over this 6-game winning streak that they've started to ravel off, he kind of figured it out. He seemed to get his confidence back. He was skating with the puck more. He was making better decisions. And it looked like the Sam Girard that we know over the past 2 seasons. And now he has this game where it's right back to all of that brutal stuff. I don't know what it is exactly. He certainly seems to struggle with teams that forecheck aggressively, but he's got to figure it out. And he's got to get back to that consistent player that he has been. But I did say the wheels came off, and 1 goal is not enough for the wheels to come off. No, the Avs give up another one about a minute and 20 seconds later. Nothing about this play makes any sense to me from the Avs perspective. McKinnon is backpedaling towards the point with the puck, and he's just going to throw it towards the net. Not my favorite play. I've been pretty vocal about how I don't like McKinnon taking this play, even though it has worked a few times. But if you're going to take it, you got to get it deep in the zone, and he fails this time, shooting right into a Flame sitting in the circle. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2, it creates an awkward situation where Barberio has to dip around him. Barberio could play it safe and back off into the neutral zone, but he opts not to. And That's bad news, because at the same time, Calle Rosen is pinching into the zone. So because it's immediate turnover for the Flames, they're off to the races here. Rosen is clearly already beat up the ice and out of this play. And Barberio gets caught completely flat-footed, so now he has to chase it down, leaving MacKinnon as the only man back. MacKinnon almost makes this play. It's a lob pass up over him. He gets his glove on it. He gets a piece of it. And that might have just been the worst thing that could have happened, as he knocks it perfectly over to where Frolik can corral it, or Ryder rather can corral it, which allows the play to get set up, and then both Barberio and Rosen get beat up the ice by Frolik. Nice pass. Credit where credit's due to Ryder here to get it across the crease on Francouz, but for both your defensemen to make those errors and then not be able to recover is just brutal. Do you think that ends up happening if Makar and EJ are healthy in the lineup? Because I sure don't. And that's where things you kind of realized fell apart for the Avs. They had not been passing well at all through the second half of this game, particularly in the defensive zone, and everything was just discombobulated. Not playing like a team that deserves to win, but you know who doesn't care about that and just beast moded the Avs to a point anyway? Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, honestly, he pretty much just decided by himself that the Avs weren't going to lose this game in regulation, and he cuts the deficit in half a couple of minutes later. Cole retreats back to collect the puck, and he essentially just throws it up the boards here. Apparently, Matt Calvert touches it right there because he got credited with an assist, so good for him. But Nathan MacKinnon rolls up on this puck, blows everyone away, decides to pick it up, hold up, cut to the middle, and just make Calgary look like a bunch of fools as he beats Rittich clean. And sure, Calgary's defense had a massive breakdown that allowed MacKinnon the space to cut into the middle and finish the play like that, but the amount of players that are even capable fast enough to cut to the middle like that is not very many. And the number of those players that can then finish the play is even less. So that's all well and good, but if you've been an Avs fan for a long time, you know they've been here many, many times before, and the regular result is mount a heavy comeback, but it's far too little, far too late, and they end up losing the game. But not on this day. Nope. Nathan MacKinnon has other plans, and this year, even with the injuries, he has the talent around him that the Avs are just never out of it. Calgary did back off a little bit with the lead, and that was all that MacKinnon needed. Graves retrieves a puck back in the Avs zone and sends it up the boards for the Avs standard on-the-fly breakout here. You'll see Burakovsky waiting at the half wall to chip it to MacKinnon so they can go off to the races, but it's a bit mistimed. It's not a great chip, doesn't lead MacKinnon, and MacKinnon is so good that he's going to make this look easy. But to receive this on your off back foot and kick it up to yourself like it's nothing, that alone is pretty nuts. And then MacKinnon just drives right down the middle of the ice, turns on the gas. The defenders have to respect it, leaving a mile and a half for Jonas Donskoy to work with. MacKinnon gives him the feed. Donskoy gets to walk all the way inside the circle before ripping a beautiful shot to tie the game. The assist itself wasn't that difficult, just feeding the puck to Donskoy there, but all of the work MacKinnon did to get the play in that position is really special. And this year, that pass goes to a Donskoy instead of a Nieto, instead of a Gabe Bork. And it's nothing against those guys. They're very good players that have their roles. Donskoy is going to finish a lot more consistently than they are. So the Avs got themselves back in it, and I won't lie to you, they played for overtime for the rest of this game. Calgary had a couple of spurts of opportunities that Francouz was able to hold down, and then they kind of played it out for overtime as well. Both teams got what they wanted, and the 3-on-3 would not go the Avs' way this time. They had opportunities, They just didn't connect, and then Calgary's did. About 2 minutes into OT, Burakovsky is going back to collect the puck in the neutral zone as the Flames go for a change. And the Flames get caught a little bit here. Burakovsky gets this up quickly to Nathan MacKinnon, creating a 2-on-1 with MacKinnon and Zadorov. Great opportunity, you would think. You got to get a shot here. MacKinnon, you got to think he's shooting this puck with the other man being Zadorov. You don't mind that. I think he maybe gets a little bit too cute here and just runs himself out of room instead of just trying to take the shot. He ends up trying to make one dangle too many and gets his shot blocked off of a good stick here, and the puck is going back the other way. Problem being, your one defenseman on the ice is now behind the other team's net. So it's a 3-on-2 and you don't have your defenseman. You can see chaos immediately as MacKinnon is aggressive on the puck despite Burakovsky already being on that side of the ice. And now Burakovsky has to try to slide over to take the far side as MacKinnon is skating back on this side. Just chaos. Burakovsky gets blown by, and it's a walk-in and finish the game from Sean Monahan. I don't know. It's overtime. I'm not going to nitpick that one too much. Just try to score on your opportunities next time there. This video has already gone extremely long with all of the goals, so to wrap it up, the Avs lose, and that's okay. It was not a great game from them. They probably didn't deserve to win, but you can't win them all. So that's the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching, and head on over to thednvr.com and consider signing up for a membership and checking out some of our premium content. It helps support us a lot. I am Rudo, and on to the next one.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the big. The fun isn't over yet, it is Avalanche time.